Established by His Majesty King Mohammed VI, the Royal Institute for Strategic Studies (IRES) aims at enhancing the capacity of the Kingdom of Morocco regarding analysis, anticipation, and adaptation. Since its creation in November 2007, IRES has examined strategic questions having a real impact on the development path of the country. Thanks to its achievements, IRES was able to acquire a good reputation. Thus, by the end of 2016, IRES has produced 120 reports and organized several international conferences on major issues: climate change, cities of the future, major challenges of the world in 2050, geostrategic issues of maritime areas, the radicalization phenomenon. IRES also held more than 200 seminars on various topics and mobilized 210 associated researchers and 120 doctoral students, besides its in-house resources. Building on its privileged positioning, which allowed it to commit to a broader field of reflection and to work on a distant time scale, IRES is dealing today with several important assets: a genuine skill in the study of strategic issues, in particular social bond, climate change, global competitiveness, and intangible capital.
L'IRES est également un centre de réflexion, un centre de débat serein qui réunit à la fois le monde universitaire, les décideurs politiques, les opérateurs économiques et la société civile. C'est un centre de débat pour l'éclosion d'idées qui permet aussi d'organiser des conférences internationales avec les think tanks avec lesquels l'IRES est en relation.
On the basis of a multidimensional approach, IRES developed a specific expertise in the field of international relations in accordance with the Royal Message of August 30, 2013. IRES has set up a device for perspective watch at national, international, and global levels. It has a remarkable information and documentation center in terms of future studies. IRES asserted itself as a forum for serene debates favorable to a fresh perspective on multiple issues. IRES plays an important role in the intellectual diplomacy. IRES examined the key strategic questions which have an impact on the development process. In this regard, IRES has conducted several study programs and formulated proposals for public policies in order to deal with the challenges facing the Kingdom of Morocco. The reflection of IRES on the social bond helped in defining the diverse expressions of the living together in Morocco, its strengths, its weaknesses, and the possible risks for the socio-political cohesion and the national entity. The two national surveys of the social bond, both conducted by IRES in 2011 and 2016, have drawn a detailed picture of the Moroccan society. In November 2008, IRES prompted an intensive and in-depth reflection on the complexity of the climate change and its many dimensions. Eventually, the main aim is to provide solutions to face the challenges of hydric security, food security, and sanitary, economic, and environmental securities.
La question du changement climatique fait l'objet d'un programme d'études depuis la création de l'Institut. Donc on y travaille pratiquement depuis 9 ans. 9 ans sur cette question. On a accumulé énormément. C'est une question très complexe, réellement très complexe. Nous l'avons abordée sous un angle, d'abord dans une phase écosystémique, avec l'étude des écosystèmes, le littoral, les forêts, les montagnes, les oasis, etc., la question de l'eau. Et la deuxième phase était une phase sécuritaire, avec l'impact du changement climatique sur la sécurité alimentaire, sanitaire et la sécurité hydrique et la sécurité humaine de façon générale.
In the same context, the 2017 IRES strategic report was dedicated to the global challenges for the biosphere, emphasizing the climate change and the ecological footprint. As part of its contribution to the COP22, IRES organized two side events. One was dedicated to the presentation of the conclusions of the Strategic Report 2017 on the global challenges for the biosphere, while the second was devoted to the issue of anticipatory adaptation strategies to climate and environmental challenges. Taking into account the structural change seen in the medium and long term and at a global and regional level, IRES began in 2009 a research program on Morocco's global competitiveness and its positioning in the globalized system. in order to evaluate the condition of the competitiveness of the country and to identify the strengths and weaknesses of its international positioning. IRES granted a special attention to the subject of intangible capital in accordance with the will of the sovereign. Thanks to its skill in the analysis of emerging concepts, IRES estimated the global and intangible wealth of Morocco over the 1998-2013 period and suggested the adoption of public policies centered on the development of the intangible capital and its human, social, and institutional aspects. As an extension to this study, IRES set up the Observatory of the Image of Morocco and suggested the outlines of a brand strategy for Morocco. The royal message of August 13, 2013, addressed to the first conference of ambassadors that constitutes the founding base of the new vision of Moroccan diplomacy, exhorted IRES to dedicate its efforts to diplomacy and the various issues related to the external relations of Morocco in their various aspects: political, economic, social, cultural, and environmental. IRES monitored closely the developments of the case of Moroccan Sahara and went deeper into the analysis of the external relations of the kingdom and its diplomacy in its multiple dimensions by paying particular attention to Morocco's areas of belonging, including Africa. IRES also undertook the study of global issues with high impact on Morocco, such as energy transition, transnational threats, including terrorism and organized crime, threats of ISIS, and the radicalization phenomena. The studies of the future and the strategic watch are two pillars of the reflection of IRES. This reflection is led through a prospective approach involving recognized skills both nationally and internationally. Its main motive on the international level is the need to understand the globalization and to prepare Morocco actively for the post-crisis world, and on the national level, the adoption of new ways to formulate public policies advocated by the 2011 Constitution. To give an international dimension to its watch activity, IRES set up the International Panel of Futurists, Panel International des Prospectivistes, PIP. The first meeting of this panel took place in July 2016 with as objective to develop a vision of the world that enriches the Western vision prevailing until now by envisioning the characteristics of emerging and/or developing countries. IRES asserted itself as a forum of debates favoring both openness and sharing and fresh perspectives on a wide range of issues, as well as the generation of innovative ideas in compliance with the Chatham House rule for confidentiality. IRES plays an important role in regards of intellectual diplomacy thanks to his attendance to international forums, to the working sessions held at its head office hosting high-level foreign delegations, and to the ties created with international think tanks, especially its enrollment in 2015 to the network Storm of Knowledge that gathers the institutes of the countries pertaining to the Gulf Cooperation Council, Egypt and Jordan. It allowed IRES to communicate on the advances that Morocco is registering continuously on various fronts and to be in line with the core issues of the global agenda.
المعهد الملكي للدراسات الاستراتيجية له جهود جبارة جدا، واستطاع خلال فترة وجيزة أن يتجاوز الإقليمية والعربية إلى العالمية. فمنذ فترة قصيرة نظم المعهد عاصفة الفكر التي طبعا ضمت الكثير من المفكرين العرب. هذه المواضيع الهامة جدا التي يتناولها المعهد في الحقيقة هي مواضيع عالمية جدا ولها أهمية دولية، ويستطيع من خلالها طبعا أن يبرز على المستوى العالمي.
Bon, comme vous le savez, l'Union européenne est très engagée au Maroc depuis très longtemps dans beaucoup de différents domaines. Il y a une vaste gamme de différents programmes dans pratiquement tous les secteurs. Donc c'est important pour nous d'avoir un partenaire comme IRES avec lequel on peut discuter ces questions en profondeur. Et à plusieurs reprises, nous avons collaboré avec beaucoup d'intérêt avec IRES. Donc je pense que c'est un outil extrêmement important pour le Maroc, mais également pour le partenariat entre le Royaume et l'Union européenne.
So we've been privileged to work with IRES in a number of occasions. For us as United Nations, we value this type of partnership. We like when we have a think tank with whom we can interact and that can play a role of convener of all stakeholders to discuss, engage and review major policy issues that may be important today but that are going to be even more important tomorrow and in the future.
L'IRES a une longue expérience de coopération avec la Fondation méditerranéenne d'études stratégiques que je préside et c'est pour nous un interlocuteur de très grande qualité. Nous travaillons avec l'IRES depuis de très nombreuses années, peut-être 10 ans déjà, et chaque fois que nous venons ici et qu'eux viennent en France, eh bien nous avons le sentiment que nous faisons un travail très positif ensemble. Tout ce que nous pouvons faire à tous les niveaux, à la fois au niveau de la recherche, mais aussi au niveau des opérationnels, au niveau militaire, au niveau sécurité, c'est important.